Hey, Republicans, blame Trump. That is the wonderful headline of an article on the Bulwark today by one of their guys named Will Saletan. And he goes through, his analysis is a little different from some of the other ones that I've seen today because he just went through a bunch of exit polling to find out what the exit polling was showing in various elections yesterday. Subtitled, Exit Polls Show Tuesday's Election Was a Referendum on the President and His Policies. And again, I made a video earlier today where I said, one of the bad things that's going to come out of this election is that the AIPAC Democrats like Chuck Schumer and Richie Torres and Hakeem Jeffries and Adam Schiff are going to look at yesterday's results and go, wow, look at all these people who voted for Democrats, instead of seeing it for what it really is, as all these people were voting against Donald Trump and his policies. But whatever. From the article, Donald Trump cost his party a lot of votes in Tuesday's elections. He and his supporters are peddling excuses for the big Republican defeat, pleading that the losses were in blue states, faulting the poor quality of Republican candidates like Winsome Sears in Virginia, or arguing that the GOP would have performed better if Trump were on the ballot this year. Donald Trump is never going to be on the ballot ever again. But the president and his policies were largely to blame. Here's what the exit polls show as of this writing, and that he wrote this today, November 5th. 1, Trump was an explicit factor. Among people who cast ballots in the Virginia governor's race, 16% said one reason for their vote was to support Donald Trump. More than twice as many, 38%, said one reason for their vote was to vote against Donald Trump, to vote in opposition to him. In the New Jersey governor's race, the ratio was 3-1. 13% said they were voting in part to support Trump. 41% said they were voting in part to oppose him. Those numbers aren't what you would expect from the partisan breakdown of the electorate. In both of those states, self-described Democratic voters outnumbered self-described Republicans by only 5 points in Virginia and 7 points in New Jersey. Multiples of that voted against Donald Trump. In both states, Trump's negative effect on the Republican candidates went far beyond that. Trump's job approval, it's in the toilet. I did a video about that earlier today. Redistricting. So 92% of people in California who voted on Prop 50, 92% of them in the redistricting or in the exit polling said congressional districts should be drawn by a nonpartisan commission, as opposed to the party who's in power. Despite this, most of these people, 63% of that 92%, voted for Proposition 50, in favor of Proposition 50, which replaces a nonpartisan map of congressional districts with a map drawn by and favoring Democrats. A majority said they were doing so to counter the recent redistricting efforts by Republicans in Texas. So they're like, we want it to be fair and unbiased in normal times. We're not living in normal times. The upshot when you run the numbers is that most people who showed up for the California referendum were those who voted for Proposition 50 specifically to counter Trump's gerrymandering. Number 4, Trump's use of the National Guard. In the California referendum, self-identified Democratic voters outnumbered self-identified Republicans by 22 percentage points, but Proposition 50 passed by about 28 percentage points. Why the difference? In addition to the backlash against Texas, Trump's militarization of cities may have also played a role. The exit poll asked, do you favor or oppose the federal government sending National Guard into major cities in California? 65% of voters opposed it. That's almost the same number of people who voted to pass Proposition 50. 5, immigration. Most voters in Virginia, New Jersey, and California said, quote, the Trump administration's actions on immigration enforcement had gone too far. In these exit polls, only about 1 in 7 voters said the administration's actions had not gone far enough. Donald Trump said that in the 60 Minutes interview last Sunday. He said, I don't think ICE has gone far enough. Only 1 in 7 voters agrees with him. Those who said Trump had gone too far voted overwhelmingly for Democrats. But that's not a surprise. The surprise is how many people said their governor in these states should not even cooperate with the Trump administration on immigration enforcement. In California and New York, that number was 61%. In New Jersey, it was 49%, outweighing the 47% who said their governor should cooperate. The question was not asked in Virginia. That is a remarkable statement of resistance. Republican politicians have long relied on polls showing support for immigration enforcement and opposition to politicians who stood in its way. Jack Ciattarelli, the Republican nominee for governor in New Jersey, campaigned heavily on this issue, saying that his first executive order as governor on day one would be to state that no town in this state will be a sanctuary city. We will not be a sanctuary state. And he got his ass handed to him last night by Democrat Mikey Sherrill. On Tuesday, the voters in New Jersey rejected that message. They rejected Ciattarelli and they rejected Donald Trump. And so I just thought that analysis was interesting because it focused on exit polling more than anything else. And so I wanted to share that with you guys. That was by Will Saletan for the Bulwark. So please, I will tag them below. Please go follow their TikTok page. And please go to their website at thebulwark.com and subscribe to their wonderful page. They're doing very good work lately. They've added a lot of really great columnists. And I'm on their website multiple times a day. So, and they put up more content that I can keep up with. A lot of really good videos as well. And you get Tim Miller, his podcast every day. And days like today, Wednesday, you also get the Next Level podcast with JVL, Sarah, and Tim Miller, which is great. And Sarah's podcast on Saturdays, the Focus Group, which I also listen to every week. So go follow Bulwark, sign up for their stuff. You're going to need them for the next 3 years.